Everybody, it's Onyii and welcome to my first video. I'm going to teach you how I made these cat leg warmer things. I guess that's what they're called, but they're super easy to do and they go with everything. So what you're going to need is yarn in the color of your choice. You're going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need a yarn needle and a tape measure. And you are going to need some size 5 needles. I am using circular needles, but if you would like to use straight needles and sew in the edges at the end, you totally can. So the first thing you need to do is you're going to pull out a super long string and you're going to cast on. If you don't know how to cast on, it's really easy. You just make a slip knot and you're going to put your needle through it. Pull that loosely and then you're going to take your thumb, wrap it around the working yarn and put your needle through that. Then take the non-working yarn, wrap that around and then pull that over and pull it loosely again. Emphasis on the loose because this has to be pulled over your leg and snap back into place almost like an elastic effect. And I did cast on 40 stitches, but I do have pretty skinny legs, so discretion is advised on how many stitches you need for yours. So after you cast on your 40 stitches, we are going to push the stitches down and we're going to take this time to split them evenly in half. So I cast on 40, that means I'm splitting them in 20s on each side, and I'm just taking a second to do so. And then at this time, you're also going to make sure that the stitches are facing the same direction. This is a very important step because if you don't, then you're going to get this weird twist in your leg warmer, and there is no way to fix that unless you start over. And there it is. Now we are ready to start the magic loop. Take the working yarn and pull it over your needle that is farther away from you, and then you're going to take the needle and you're going to pull that out, and we're going to start on our ribbing. So for our ribbing, it's going to be a pattern of knit 1, purl 1 all around. And when you do the first knit, make sure you push it or pull it a little more tightly because this is what's going to connect the circle together. As you can see, I'm kind of struggling a little bit because the magic loop is a little wonky for me around the first few rows, but it does get easier. If I'm not explaining it right, I will link the videos to the YouTube gurus who helped me because it does get much easier. When you're done, you're going to push your needle back in and also make sure that all the stitches are lined up again. And we're going to do it all over again. Turn your work around, put the yarn over your needle that's farthest away from you, and you're going to do the same thing. On this one, you're going to knit one, purl one as well. And if you did do it right, it should be a perfect circle, if that makes any sense. Like your last one should have been a purl, so this one should be a knit. And we're going to do it again. You're going to put the needle back into your stitches and take it from the top. So we've done one full row, and we know that when the working yarn and the non-working yarn is lined up on the same side. And so after this, we're going to knit the knit and purl the purls. So here is me when I'm finished with the ribbing, and I finished it until I measured at 1.5, almost approximately. And then we are going to work on our stocking knit stitch, and this is the easiest part. It's my favorite part because this is when all the hard work you did on the magic loop finally pays off. All you're going to do is knits, just knits all the way around, all the way across. So here's the one I was working on. I did it until it was 15 inches in total, but I'm pretty short, so you're gonna have to use your own discretion. But I'm ready to do the ribbing, and it is as easy as before. You're going to just do a knit one, purl one all the way across until that reaches 1.5 inches in length. So once you're done with your ribbing, you're going to do a simple bind off. I did my knit one, purl one bind off, which means that I'm going to knit my knit and purl the purls, and then after I do the first 2 stitches, I'm going to take the first stitch I did, and you're going to pull it over your other one. and you have to do it loosely. Emphasis on the loose. This right here, what I'm showing you, is not loose at all. I actually had to go back and redo my bind off because it was way too tight on my legs and there was no elasticity at all. So be careful with that. So once you have finally finished your last stitch for your bind off, you're going to measure out a long tail and we're going to cut it. And this is what we're going to do to weave in our ends so it doesn't come undone. And then you're going to take your needle and you're going to pull that loop out and pull it. And there you go, you have your first leg warmer, and we can go ahead and go on to our cat embroidery. So first we're going to measure out our string, and I wrap the yarn around my fingers about 50 times. This is overkill, but I just really don't want to run out of string right in the middle of the cat because that's just a huge hassle. To do our cat embroidery, we're going to measure out 13 by 11 stitches. That's the size of the cat that I designed. And so I'm going to leave 2 stitches alone and then count down 13. And then I'm going to go 11 across. And you can kind of see how big the cat is going to be on your leg warmer. And once you found the 11th stitch, you are going to just shade that in. This point is going to be our point of origin. And this is just me double checking, making sure everything's okay. And then you're going to march forward to the left. This is also including the origin point. And you're going to shade that in as well. And this right here is going to be where your first stitch is. So a tip that I use is that I fold the leg warmer up as much as I can. This is just so the needle doesn't have that long of a distance to travel or it doesn't accidentally get stuck. After you've done 5 stitches as per the pattern, your next stitch is going to be on the corner of the last stitch you've done. So go in the hole under it. And instead of going right to left like we've always done, we're actually going to go left to right. Because we're working from end to end, that means you're going to be alternating in the direction of your needle. And these cats, they take me about 2 hours each to make, so I can't really show the whole process, but I will fast forward to the bits and pieces. But it's really easy to do. And there you have it. There is your finished cat. You're just going to cut a long tail so you can weave that in, and you are good to go. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you would like to see more, please subscribe. And until next time, this is Onyii.